Welcome to an emergency CK podcast here from the downtown office across from the Golden One Center, guys. I'm your host, Leo Biaz. Drama alert is what the thumbnail says, and that is exactly what's going on right now in Sacramento. Unfortunately, Valley and hook you guys up with any type of set of tires, brake jobs. If you want a lift on your truck, they will hook you guys up. All you got to say is that Cowbell Kingdom sent you guys, and they will hook you guys up. So without further ado, let's get right to it, guys. Brandon Williams, Dave Joerger, so much to unravel there, right? And before I give you guys pretty much the story, let's put some context out there. I want to give you guys the full circle of how this all happened. Obviously, the first step is when that Yahoo story broke from Chris Haynes, right? I was there. Emmanuel was there. A lot of the local reporters saw when Brandon Williams and Chris Haynes were talking. Thought nothing of it because, whenever a national figure comes to Sacramento, you usually greet him, you talk, your friends, you know him from other markets where Chris has been a reporter. So that's what I took it as. I didn't think anything of it. But that's nothing that I would ever tweet about. I mean, we talk to people all the time, and those are things that are kept on the down low. But then you kind of just connected all the dots, and you're like, okay, Chris Haynes, Brandon Williams, the source, he's the leak to the source. Kind of all makes sense. So now fast forward to yesterday to practice. I got there about roughly 12 to 15 minutes early, right before noon. So we get the email that practice is at noon. So there was practice the day before. I showed up a little bit late and I didn't make it. That's fine. So I showed up the next day, Wednesday. Okay, this is the timetable of how it all happened. I get there. I'm the first one there. And then Michael greets me. So Mike was one of the PR guys, one of the assistants. And then Jason Anderson from the SACB now, he shows up after me. No James Ham, no Sean Cunningham, no Jason Jones at that point. They actually never showed up to practice yesterday. So believe this or not, we waited over an hour to talk to Bagley and to talk to coaches. We only spoke to coach for about a minute. And I'm not kidding. It was roughly about a minute. I'm not going to lie. I don't know because the reports are that Joerger was uncomfortable with Williams' presence following the practice Wednesday. So I'm not entirely sure. I still have to do some digging on that. If that was the reason why they took so long for us to actually get there. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. So, or it could have happened after that, which when we got to Dave Joerger, so first we spoke to Marvin Bagley. He was great. He talked about a bunch of cool things. You guys can listen to the interview. It's on our YouTube channel. We'll link it later in the description. So once we finished talking to Marvin Bagley, talking about TNT and the national love that they're beginning to receive because they are winning games, and as we always tell you guys, winning cures everything. Winning will do things like that for your organization. So we get to Dave Joerger. The first thing he says is, "I'm going to a dentist appointment. We have to make this quick." We thought nothing of it. We thought, it's Dave, being a very funny guy, a very genuine guy, very sarcastic at times. That's the type of relationship that he has with the media. And we thought nothing of it. And the first question was, you guys took over an hour that you guys had us waiting for a long time. Did you guys work on something in particular, preparing for the Los Angeles Clippers? Or was there something that, that you guys honed on? My team's trying to get better. So something like that. It was like a 3-word response. And I was like, oh my gosh. So we wait over an hour to get a 3-word response. So I thought that was pretty funny. Jason and I laughed. Sorry. So it was me, Jason, and Deuce. So Deuce was there as well. I'm bad on that part. Other than that, nobody else was there. And we just kind of observed the practice and the players. Marvin Bagley's little brother was in the process of interviewing him because I think he's the CK kid reporter for the Sac B, so he's taking over that role, and they were doing that. So I kind of got distracted there. So I was there looking at that, but then the news broke about an hour ago, right? We just finished doing some filming with Blake McKernan. Shout out to him. And then E-Man's like, bro, are you seeing the news? I'm like, what's going on? So today, as a matter of fact, as Brandon Williams showed up to the team shoot-around, Dave asked for him to be removed. So why? Because we all know he was the leak to the information that was, false in so many ways. Dave Joerger is not on the hot seat. He's doing a marvelous job with this young team. The Kings are 10-10. In what world did we ever? Nobody here thought, and if you did, you are a liar. Nobody here thought the Kings would be 500 at the 20-game mark. That is very impressive, and that the success needs to be attributed a lot to Coach Joerger and his basketball staff, who we love. Just all the guys on the staff are such great guys, from Coach Gates to Elson Turner to Coach Lewis. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Bobby J. So you have to attribute their success to the coaching staff. They've done a great job. They've been able to get to these young guys' heads, right? They're believing. And when you believe, and there's this unifying, would you say there's this unifying thing right now with this team. The environment is so good. But then for whatever reason, I know TNT they're known for drama, right? That's TNT's logo. That's their mantra. For whatever reason, the Kings don't play on national television much. But whenever they do, it just seems like there is always some type of drama looming around the team, and it's just a bad look for the organization. All these positive things are going on for the organization. The community is super excited once again. And then this? Why? I'm going to be straight up with you guys right now. This has a lot to do with Vivek, which I blame him a lot for it, and I'm going to blame Vlade Divac. And this is why. As the leader of that front office, you cannot allow one of your employees, your team members, to leak out this type of information. I'm sorry. You cannot allow that. If Brandon Williams is at fault for this, if there's every type of evidence showing that he leaked out the information, action is required. There needs to be something done, and Brandon Williams has to go. Now, I'm not the type of guy that says I want so-and-so Joe Blow to get fired, because that's not my job. That's not my place. But the easy fix is, if you break that bridge of trust and you start leaking out stuff like false information like that, Dave is on the hot seat because he's not playing Marvin Bagley over Bill Ita, who has been wonderful for this team, then the man needs to go. Another thing. So going back to the relationship between Brandon Williams, and I know I'll get to your comments, guys. There's a lot of comments right now. Hit that like button for sure. There's 35 people. There should be at least 30 likes on this video. But going back to the disconnect between these two grown men, it really did start with what's in my notes? With longtime staple Pete Youngman and Manny Romero. I'm not saying Brandon was the cause of them losing the job, but he must have had something to do with it, which is why it's been reported. So that was one disconnect. The other disconnect was free agency, I guess. I guess Dave wanted a certain individual. They did not look eye to eye. And right now, it seems like this bridge of trust between these two grown men is not on good terms. Now, again, what do you do if you're not on good terms? There has to be a call of action. Vlade Divac, the leader of this front office, Vivek Ranadive, the leader of the organization, need to come out and they need to make something happen. And that something to me is letting Brandon Williams go. It's a message that a lot of, just for example, the 49ers, they just got rid of Reuben Foster, right? Why? Because it was a bad look for the organization. They understood that he's a hell of a football player, but there's a deeper message to be sent for other guys to say, man, like, and if I don't get my act together, then I'm going to go too. That's the message that the 49ers sent. And it's funny because the Redskins picked them up right away, right? See, you can argue the pros and cons to that. It shows that they need help talent-wise, which he can provide. But if you know that this dude is at fault for doing something scandalous and you still hire the man, it's kind of like the whole Mark Cuban hired his chief CEO, right? When on national television, Mark Cuban said, I didn't know that he was accused of harassment before I actually made him that. But there were reports, if he had done his homework, his excuse was he was so excited to own the Mavericks that everything bypassed him. Okay, he made a mistake. But again, the Redskins know what the allegations are for Reuben Foster, and they still hired him. They still contracted him. Why? Because they're in deep need of winning football games. I get that. But the 49ers right now, they want a clean house. They want a bunch of good guys. They want to clear a positive image for the organization. And if the Kings want to go in that direction and take that route, the first step, I'm sorry. Brandon Williams seems like a great guy. I've interacted with him a few times. He seems like a great guy. I'm sure he's a great family guy and et cetera. But when you leak out information that's false and that hurts the image of your organization, the organization that you work for, there needs to be consequences, period. There needs to be consequences. He needs to be held accountable. Again, for all the reports and the people that we've spoken to, it seems like it was him, the one that leaked information. Now, it's not 1,000% sure, but once that's confirmed, there needs to be accountability, and he needs to go. And I hate saying things like that because, again, it's now I stay in my lane, like LeVar Ball says. It's not my job to say, oh, so-and-so needs to get fired. Like, I hate that. But something needs to happen. Now, I want to open up the lines. You guys know the number. I don't know why, but you guys can call on the show if you want to voice your displeasure. Guys, there's 48 people watching this. 49. You guys got to hit that like button or hit the dislike button. Whatever it is, hit that button so the algorithms can start flowing on YouTube. Would really appreciate you guys' support. And again, remember that this show is presented by Valley Tire Center. Make sure to go out there, get yourself a great set of tires, whatever type of service. You know what? They're so nice that they said whoever mentions that they heard about us on the Cowbell Kingdom podcast, post-game show, whatever it is, on any platform, they will give you a free tire balance, guys. And that's about $80 for free. So go out there and get it done. You guys can also use our code. So if you're trying to go to the game tonight on SeatGeek, $20 off at the purchase. $20 off, guys. Come on. You guys can use it for Warriors games, Kings games, any type of events, any concerts. Use our code COWBELL on SeatGeek.com. You guys can also check our other sponsor, Ticket IQ, who also has great deals going on right now. Check them out. Follow them on all social media platforms, and you guys should get some pretty cheap tickets as well at some really good prices. Edward says, too many chefs in the kitchen. Sorry, Williams. Joerger is the coach. You are not. And not is in caps. I get you, man. I feel your pain, and I agree with you. Someone said, be patient, develop. Oh, Edward again. Young guys correctly, not throw them to the wolves. Fox was developed correctly, and look how that turned out. Shout out to Dave Joerger, right? He didn't give him the keys to the franchise right away, like most, like Dennis Smith and Lonzo Ball did. And as you guys can see, a lot of it attributes to LeBron being there. And the other part is that maybe Dennis Smith wasn't as good as we all thought he was. I didn't think he was that good from the start. And I'm on record saying that. But he's taking a step back. Obviously, their best player now is Luka Doncic, and he's proven that night in and night out this year in the first 21 games, or 19 games. Sorry, I think they're 10-9. And we can talk about that later. But I applaud Dave Joerger for developing the guys the right way. Some guys can say, just play them all. And that's Brandon's approach, it seems like, because he wants to throw Bagley right there and give him 50 minutes a game, right? And I'm being exaggerated, but he wants to get him, 25 to 35 minutes a game. That's what it seems like. That's the only reason why you would put out a leak like that. If not, why do it? He's still getting a fair amount of minutes. So I don't get it. Like, again, so many positive things are going on. Why would you do that? Why? Again, 54 people watching this. Hit that like button. Yeah, come on. And this version will be on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify. If you guys can leave us a review, we would really appreciate that, guys. Again, it helps us out a lot. Let us know if you guys enjoy this type of interaction with you guys. Again, you guys can go ahead and call on the show. I'm open to talking to you guys and listening to what you guys have to say. Someone, Drew Harrison, just said, even when things go right, they go wrong. Isn't that just what Kings is like? That is, I know, man. It's tough because, again, as I mentioned earlier, whenever they play on TNT, they just know when to like choose their games, and like some type of drama pops out, man. And it's really unfortunate. Really unfortunate. You can definitely see Bagley more confident each and every game thanks to Joerger. Edgar Fernandez, none of this would be happening if he dropped Luka. Well, I'll say this. Brandon Williams, go ahead and blame Brandon Williams, because Brandon Williams was a huge Bagley guy. Again, I still, even though Vlade has been on record saying that Bagley was his guy, I'm beginning to think with all these reports that it wasn't his guy. And I don't think he'll ever admit that, because even if he stays as GM, you have to go by what you said in the beginning, right? Even if it's not true. I'm starting to believe, and that was my first initial gut, that he wanted Luka, and then the whole, I want Bagley, he's my guy. I'm starting to believe that he did want Luka, but because there are so many chefs in the kitchen, it got overruled. And I may be wrong. That's my conspiracy theory, but I'm starting to believe that, because I do not think Vlade is that incoherent where you had a guy who was that good. So obvious. It was such an obvious thing, but then you go in a different direction. So, but that's a whole different discussion, right? So going back to, and E-Man's like, yeah, don't cross that bridge. And I'm like, man, I'll cross whatever I want. I'm just kidding. People care too much. See, that's what I'm saying. If y'all bring up Luka, I'm just gonna go on a tangent. So don't do that. Don't do that. That's your guys' fault. I'm joking. Leo, have you heard anything about Martina? I keep hearing some people say she needs to go too. I have heard things, but obviously I'm not gonna say them. It's tough. I mean, I see all the good that she does. She's great to have within like community outreach and stuff like that, because she's so well connected. I'm just gonna leave it at that. There's relationships that you don't want to cross that are good. So I'll leave it at that. People care too much about narrative than they do facts. U.S. City loves the Kings. We got fans. Where's Vivek Randive? He should take action. People act like Bagley is some scrub. I'm not saying that, guys. I love Bagley. And again, do not misconstrue what I say, please. And I think the best, and just going real back on the whole thing, the best analogy that I saw yesterday was Hakeem and Michael Jordan, right? Like, you got a Hall of Famer in Hakeem, but when you go back in the draft, you're like, man, Michael was the guy, right? And man, if that's what happens, if we get Hakeem, it's a slam dunk. Like, I'm not even mad. I'm not. So that was probably the best analogy I've seen on Twitter since draft day. Oh, you know what? Someone else said this. What was it? I think it was Dwayne Wade and someone else. Oh my God, this is the perfect. This is even better. This is like even better because Hakeem and MJ Hall of Famers, that's super extreme, especially for these two young cats. Dwayne Wade, Andre Iguodala. What if the Heat would have drafted Andre Iguodala, who's been a great player? He's borderline maybe. He's been an all-star a couple times. Finals MVP. But again, he's not the second best shooting guard in the past, behind Kobe, right? Like, that's the type of, again, if that's what happens, yes, I am going to be upset. Now, if we get the whole MJ Hakeem, I won't be upset because both guys are Hall of Famers. I get it. But the whole D-Wade, Andre Iguodala, if that's accurate, which I'm pretty sure he came out that year, that is a perfect analogy, by the way. What was your first impression of Brandon Williams? Is he what the Athletics is describing your opinion? Bagley fits better for the team. Andre was a dog in Philly. He washed now. Andre was a dog in Philly, and that's what I'm talking about. He's not washed now. He'd be the starting three on the Kings. Let's not kid ourselves on this 10-10 team. So he's not that washed. If you're talking about, I'm gonna say D-Wade is washed too, right? Like, no, I mean, these guys are past their prime, but it's just the analogy of what I'm trying to say right now. 60 people watch. Appreciate you guys' support. Hit that like button right now, man. Come on, let's get these likes up. Come on, y'all. Dave Joerger doing the right thing with this team. Come on, Brandon Williams got mad at this. People got to stop. With Luka, Bagley's legit. Luka's good. It's a good rookie class. It's a great rookie class, to be perfectly fair. I try hard to keep living. Talking. I still think value. Okay, what do I want to? Okay, so pretty much, you guys, I feel like the vibe that you guys are giving me is you guys agree with what I'm saying. Fernando Milan saying keep it 100. I appreciate that. What is a leak or what is a lie? So, okay, again, so the leak was, reports are, in my own two eyes, it seems like Brandon Williams leaked the whole Dave Joerger is on the hot seat to Chris Haynes. Chris Haynes then, as a reporter, is his duty to report that. Did not disclose who the source was, but because of all the connections of dots, people are saying it's Brandon Williams. And because it's Brandon Williams, Dave Joerger, the guy at the centerfold of all that, is upset. You kind of get where we're going there. So you connect 1-1, 2-1, 3-2, etc. It leads to Dave Joerger saying remove him from shoot around. And that's what it's come down to. On the day when they're on national television. Like, what are the odds of that happening? Oh, my gosh. Oh. Miguel Vera says 21 watching, no likes, a question mark. I agree, y'all. I don't know. And people they're watching this, but they're not liking it. I don't know. So what are you guys saying? I'm cool. More like Chris Bosh at best. How does Troy Williams the two-way contract work? I'll answer that in a little bit. So is this? I just answered you, Oakland Ron. Okay, so Troy Williams, real quick. He's only allowed to be on the big team, right? We're gonna call it big team, little team right now. Sacramento Kings, Stockton Kings. He's allowed to be on the big team, I believe, for 60 days. Don't quote me on that. And once that happens, they either have to send him back permanently to the G League, or they have to sign him and cut someone because they're at the limit for roster spots. And I think as of right now, I mean, it's way too early, honestly, to make that type of decision. But if it came down to it, I think Ben McLemore would be the first to go to make room for Troy Williams because it really wouldn't cost him much to cut ties with Benny, but that would be how that would go down. So that's how the two-way works. Can be on the big team for a long extended time because you have to. So they get paid more when they're on the big team, but then get paid their regular salary when they're on the little team. Little team Stockton Kings, big team Sacramento Kings. does does that kind of explain it if you were listening to me? All right. Still wishing we could have Jaylen Brown. So Boston Productions is saying, still wishing we could get Jaylen Brown. All right. If I'm Vladdy, I'm making phone calls right now to Danny and hey, bro, I know you guys are struggling right now. I got a nice center in Willie Cauley-Stein that y'all may be interested in. I'm trying to make this a fair trade. I'm not trying to do what you guys did to us or what you guys did to everybody else. I'm trying to make this fair. I'm trying to improve because I know you like Sacramento and I know you have love for Jerry Reynolds. So let's make this happen. Jerry, put Jerry on three-way. Hey, man, you want Gordon Hayward? No doubt. You want Jaylen? No doubt. Who do you want to let go of? I'd say they would probably let go of Gordon first, but knowing Brad Stevens, that's his guy. So maybe Jaylen may be the other guy. So that's how that discussion would go, probably not. Can you see Bagley starting pretty soon? Do you think they will make a switch at the 4? I do not. I think Bielitsa deserves, and rightfully so, to be the starting power forward of this team. He is a stretch 4. He's exactly what this team needs. Bagley is a 5. I've said that since the day I broke him down. You guys can go back to our playlist, NCAA breakdowns from a year ago, from this year. I'm on record saying his best in the NBA will be center position, and that's where he's been best at this year. Even Coach Joerger has tried a lot to put him at the 5 because he can exploit that position. So whoever guards him is way slower than him, and that's where he can be so effective. Obviously, when he gets older and he puts on more weight, he's going to be very tough to guard. So that he is the future center of this team. Now, what does that mean for Willie Cauley-Stein? Again, that's a whole different discussion, which we can get into. So the Kings don't have to sign him this year. As a matter of fact, they can extend the qualifying offer for one more year if he doesn't get a contract from someone else. So if they extend the qualifying offer for one more year, that means it gives Bagley more time to fill in that role for the future. And then that would make Willie an unrestricted the following year. But if someone throws max money at him, and by max, I mean like 19 to 22, as much as I like Willie and I like him a lot, I would let him walk. I would. Vlade, that's his first draft pick. I can see him trying to make a point like, oh, I'm going to max him out. He's a max player. When in reality, we all know that he's not a max player. To me, he's a good 11 to, $13 million player. And that's how I feel about it. I know a lot of my colleagues feel the same way. So it's no shock. It's no surprise. I'm sure Willie believes he is a max player, and that's what he should believe in. Every player should believe they're a max player, period, even if it's not true. I mean, you got Isaiah Thomas saying he's the best player in the league. Even though it's not true, he should believe that. If he doesn't, as a competitor, you want the best for yourself, for your family, for your entourage, for your circles, for whatever you want to call it. I get that. Brandon Rogers, Bagley is more of a 5, which is why Bagley fans want Willie gone. You think Bogey or Shump starts tonight, Leo? I think Shump starts tonight for sure. Who should the Kings trade for on the Wizards? Yeah, I know who that is, man. Otto Porter. What do you think of Vlade's statement? Kind of weak. Did he come up with the statement already?
He did.
Right now?
Yeah.
What do you say? Read it to me. So I wasn't aware. I mean, I'm like in the zone just talking to you guys. But what is it?
I have advised my front office and coaching staff to not focus on drama and rumors.
Oh yeah, I actually read that.
To focus on continuing to develop our young and exciting team, and that's what we're going to do.
I don't like it. if that's the press release, I don't like it. I kind of saw I thought that was an old one, but I guess it's the new one. Again, from a leadership standpoint, I don't like it. It hurts me to say, but that's a weak that's a weak press release. I'm sorry. I got to keep it 100 with you guys. That's a weak press release. There needs to be a call to action. Period. So Troy Brown or Otto Porter Leo. Troy Brown, hands down. No, I'm kidding. I would want to get Troy Brown in that trade regardless. But E-Man's like, yeah. So Bulls offers $20 million since we made them pay the max for Levine. But we ain't talking about Milos. You talking about Milos Teodosic? Reporter, congrats on your engagement. Appreciate that, Devin. Appreciate you, brother. Buddy starts for the rest of the season. He does. Wouldn't you say so?
Yeah. I told you he put up 20 points.
He's not even averaging that, though. Was he averaging like 17 now?
19.
Is he really?
Yeah, or 18. That was the latest one.
Oh, well. So somewhere around there. Does anybody want to call in? You guys want to comment? That's cool too, man. We got 63 people watching this, and we got 30 likes, man. Come on, man. Hit that like button right now. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, definitely, buddy's killing it this season. So you guys can go back and watch this whole stream if you guys want more answers. I think I've covered pretty much everything. The whole disconnect between Dave and Brandon Williams. Again, they're grown men. They either got to fix this or someone got to go. And that someone's not going to be Dave Joerger. I guarantee that. And if it's Dave Joerger, this is a turmoil of an organization. It's a dumpster of an organization if they would have liked to go that way. Would you agree with that? If they said, Dave, you're gone, like that would show the lack of leadership from this organization. That would be sad. And trust me, like first 2 years, I was high fan of Dave's basketball. Last year, I was pretty low on him. This year is going back up, but I still have my questions in terms of why he continues to run a high post offense when you have limited bigs right now, at least. I love the fact that they're pushing it, which is a huge improvement that he let his race car go, right? Like he's driving this Ferrari the right way. And by that, I mean De'Aaron Fox. But the other thing is when they get to that situation of running half-court offenses, it should be a free-flowing, pass-free offense as opposed to his high-post traditional offense where unless you have Harry, who's a great high-post passer, I don't want Bagley. I don't want Willie up there making decisions because they don't know what to do. When Bagley, if he starts from the high post and goes downhill, he doesn't know how to stop or shift his body yet, which is a learning curve. It's something that he has to learn, and he knows he's going to run into a brick wall of defenders, and that's what happens. Or if they give him the ball in the post, the ball is going to stop with him, so the ball is not going to move anymore, which reminds me of a lot of Zebo of last year. And with Willie, the whole, what do I do?
The elbow.
Again, elbow high post, not effective in any way, shape, or form. So I don't want that. I want Willie to be my pick and roll guy. I want him around the rim, getting more rebounds, being more consistent. For the most part, he's been good this year. Again, he's had some off games. Bagley, the best rebounder on his team already. Shout out to Marvin. I think that's pretty much it. I want Justin Jackson to just catch and shoot. We all want that, but we didn't even do that. If Dave's then there would have to be things seen because it doesn't make sense from our standpoint. Who won the trade in the retrospect now? New Orleans. Yeah, I mean, the Kings just destroyed the Pelicans in that trade. They got a 20-point score and Buddy Hield, who continues to improve. Shout out to my boy Tony, man. He actually sent me a story about Buddy 2 days ago. I have not had a chance to get to it. It pretty much talks about his improvement and how he's so close to Steph Curry in his first 3 years. I know it's crazy to compare, or even again, first 3 years, Steph Curry, Buddy Hield, very, very similar. Are you shocked about that?
No.
Very, very similar. Very, very similar. Again, you guys can visit cowbellkingdom.com. Yeah, we still have a website. I believe it or not, we do run good articles. They're not very consistent, but they're sporadic and they're good when they are on there. You guys can also visit our online store, get your merch as soon as possible. Links are in the bio for that. I think E-Man uploaded a bunch of, there's a fiance calling already. Look at that. But I'm not going to pick up the fiance's call right now because I'm doing the live stream. Y'all can let her know. And by the way, she's probably concerned because I fell on my hip today playing basketball. If you guys follow us on Instagram, every Tuesday and Thursday we're at Hurley on 24. Wake up at 5. Got to be there by 6. Lance Woods, local comedian, international sex star is what he likes to call himself. He's there, and we're out hooping. And some older guy undercut me today, and I landed around my hip. I've been in a lot of pain, excruciating pain. I feel like the meds are wearing off now, and I'm like, damn, like me sitting down right now, I'm like, shit, like this really hurts. So that's probably why she's calling, kind of concerned, just checking up on me. Appreciate that, fiance. I don't even know how to spell that guy, so I still say she's my girlfriend. But yeah, Charles Barkley says a lot of things. He does say a lot of things. He's hilarious, so he's what makes that show go. It's funny because, Kenny's always mad. He's like, how have you won every type of award, but he's never watched a full game? And he gets so pissed and like, oh my God, story of my life, man. Like I see all these YouTube channels. I'm like, man, how the hell don't we got 100,000 subscribers right now? Like it makes no sense to me. But long-term vision, guys, with your guys' support, we'll get there. We'll get there very, very soon. DeMarcus hasn't played yet. Didn't Vivek on even say, buddy, is the next Steph Curry. He did say that, what's going on? What did I miss? He missed a lot, brother. You got to go back and watch this, man. Some good stuff. I was on the roll earlier. What do the Kings need to go do? Win? So one of the big things for me tonight is their pace has to be very high. The Clippers play slow. The Clippers want to play. So when I watch the Clippers play, I've seen a lot of the handoffs. And anytime you hand off, again, this is where the Kings struggle, right? They're not gonna know when to switch, and you're gonna see Buddy not communicate, Willie not communicate, and next thing you know, they got wide open jump shots or wide open layups. Tobias Harris and Danilo Gallinari are attempting 5 3-point shots a game. Tobias, from what I recall, is averaging 43% from beyond the arc, which is incredible, that's the player that the Kings should target and max out next offseason and beat your starting 3 and probably starting 4. Harris. So Harris is shooting 5 threes a game.
Tell the Kings to watch him today.
So
might be a free agent.
So that's a guy who the Kings should lock in on, because the Clippers are going to have so much flexibility to sign a major star. 2 major stars, so they're not going to have enough money to max out Harris. The Kings are. He's young enough to fit with this awesome group that they have now. He fits in perfectly. He shoots the rock. He has that killer mid-range shot as well. He can pull up like a KD can. He can't block a shot because he's super tall. He's athletic. He's just solid all the way around. Has made a huge improvement. He may be an all-star this year, believe it or not, especially if the Clippers stay competitive, because it's hard to say. I'll say this. He's been their best player, but they have a lot of good players. So that team, again, they're coached very well. They play very hard. They play very slow. So the Kings have to push the tempo on this team. That is the major key to the game. They have to push, and they have to tire these guys out, because they're bigger than the Kings. They're stronger than the Kings. They're more physical than the Kings. And if they play their game, they're going to get run out the gym on national television, guys. Why did he kick out the assistant GM? Score prediction. They're going to put me on the spot, bro. It's hard to say, I don't know what Kings team is showing up. Like, that's part of my my big frustration, fans want to say playoffs, right? We've had multiple streams where like, man, and I've said, it was right after the Jazz game, I believe I said, man, I'm super excited. I'm super close to saying, you know what, this team may be contending for a playoff spot. But then when you see games like Golden State's where they should have won that game, and then you have such a bad game the following night against the Jazz. And I kept telling people, if you tweet at me or tweet out, if I see a tweet that says they were tired on the back-to-back, I'm going to block you. And I'm going to tell you guys straight up, that is not an excuse because every team plays back-to-back.
Clippers are playing on a back-to-back.
So, exactly. And I'm not going to say, well, the Kings won because they're on the back-to-back. No, the Kings won because they were a better team. That's what I'm going to say. Every team plays back. The Jazz played a back-to-back, and they beat that team the following night. Like, this isn't a valid excuse. This is a super young team, and for whatever reason, they actually came out great. They were up 9-0 or 7-0, and then they just went cold. Like, they were trailing by 3 or 4 points at the end of the first quarter when they were up by 9, and then they just went cold. They brought it down to 4 points, right? To 4 points in that third quarter. And after Giles missed that, it was Giles. He did that E-man move, right? And then the next possession, they got the defensive stop. He took that. If the Kings make them, in my opinion. So shot didn't go in. After that miss, they trailed by 11. Going into they were down by 4. Shot goes in, down by 1, but then you trail by. Isn't that crazy? Like that. And I have a great memory for that. I don't even know how the hell I remember that. I'm waiting what to say after 25. So see, that's my guy. So Ger Kellar, he pays attention to what I say. I say, give me a 25-game barometer, and that's what I want to do. I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to say I'm not going to say after 25 games if don't make the playoffs. I'll tell you if they are a team that will contend for a playoff position. Because as of right now, it's still unknown. I'm not convinced. I'm just not. Have to keep you guys grounded, and I have to let you guys know and keep it 100 all the time. And right now, as of today, I'm not convinced. I have a lot of questions on this team, a lot of the X's and O's, and just at what capacity can this team play all year long? If they're going to play the way they did on the back-to-back, don't even think about the playoffs because good teams play well on back-to-backs. And if they want to become a good team, then they have to play very well on the back-to-back. You're right. They're just young and need to learn how to move forward. That's just it. Right. If someone say, you know what, Jazz are a better team, I'm not going to blame them that they're tired. I mean, dude, they played in Oakland. They took a 45-minute bus drive. Like, no excuses, period. They need a shooter better free throw line too, right? Which is what I asked Bagley yesterday. I said, is it a concern? Are you working on your free throws? You said he is. He's putting up enough shots. He said, don't worry about it. Straight to my face, don't worry about it. But I can't lie. I do worry about it because he's not a good free throw shooter. De'Aaron is spotty at times. This team is a bad free throw shooting team, right? De'Aaron? De'Aaron or Bagley?
No, De'Aaron's bad quarters 1 through 3.
Okay, so V-Man saying clutch. In the clutch, he's good.
He's icy.
Too many turnovers.
Rebounds.
Rebounding is another issue, right? Bagley needs some help. He needs the guards to crash. We need Willie to just grab more rebounds again. I don't want Willie scoring 23 points a game, 20 points. I want him scoring 10 to 13 points a game, but I want him grabbing 13 rebounds a game. If he grabs 13 rebounds a game, he is a max player. Until he does that, how is it possible? I don't know if you actually know this, but you guys can watch my video on the Detroit Pistons. Guess how many rebounds Andre Drummond's averaging?
12.
Andre Drummond's averaging 16 rebounds. Guess how many points he's averaging? 16. 19 points. And no one even knew about that. No one's talking about them. A front court that, in theory, shouldn't make sense because of spacing issues. Blake and Drummond, two guys that are in the paint doing work, should not work, but it's working right now. Well, that doesn't work when your wings don't make shots, because then you're in trouble. But if your wings are making shots, and then it doesn't matter. But 19 points, 16 boards. We wrote off Andre Drummond. He's having a hell of a bounce back year. Shout out to the Pistons. You guys can go ahead and watch the videos. Well, I just did it two days ago. We got more news. We got more news.
No, they got Coach of the Year, Pistons.
Right, and they also got Dwayne Casey, which I also talked about that. Blake is averaging 25, 10, and 5. Drummond's averaging 19 and 16. That is ludicrous. And they're, I think, 5th or 6th right now as we speak. So Leo, Matt Rogerio, Leo just joined, and I'm sure you've talked about it in exhaustion, but the BS Williams right before a national game is so frustrating. Fans are excited about this team, and front office brings it down. Yeah, I've exhaustively spoken about that, my brother. And again, for whatever reason, it seems like the Kings always have drama looming when they're on national, on TNT. Like, TNT knows drama. That's their slogan. That's what they're known for. And it just happens that this is something that should have never been leaked from Brandon Williams. Again, I would go and take that route of making a statement, just like the 49ers did with Reuben Foster. If you want a positive image and respectability for future free agents to come and say, you know what, like, my assistant GM is going to be leaking stuff, like, how am I safe here? Who can I trust? So those are all things that need to go through Vivek's mind, through Vlade's mind. And again, I thought his press release was weak. I'm sorry. And I love Vlade, but his press release was very uncharacteristic of a Vlade Divac, because Vlade is a great leader, but that release was not good, period. It needs to be a call of action. There needs to be repercussions because of this.
Imagine how Bielitsa feels knowing that Brandon doesn't want him there.
Yeah, and Bielitsa's probably like, what? Like, I'm doing the best I can, brother. Like, man, I'm out here shooting above 40% from 3. Yeah, he's cooled off a little bit, but when he's on, the Kings I'm not unbeatable. They're pretty damn good, right? When he's on, the Kings are pretty. They're hard to beat, because you got a Ferrari and you got one of the best shooters in the league in Bielitsa when he's on. Like, it's crazy. So how does he feel when he's like, Brandon Williams is kind of giving me the, So where would you rank Fox among point guards? It's tough to say right now, my man. Tough to say, but I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all the support that we've received on this emergency podcast. Again, presented by Valley Tire Center. Also, if you guys want Kings tickets, if you guys want discounts, visit ticketiq.com, or SeatGeek can get $20 off if you use our code COWBELL. That's going to do it, guys. Again, if you guys missed it, I pretty much went over all of it, the context of everything. It'll be available on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play. Would appreciate you guys if you guys left us a review as well. We'll probably be doing a post-game show later tonight. I don't know if I'll make it to the game or not. E-Man will be there, though, for sure. I may be doing the post-game show from my house here in Sac, and we'll go from there. So, quick update. I am going to Cancun on Saturday, so unless E-Man does his lives, which I've encouraged him to do, I hope that he does go live after every game, just at least 15 minutes, just to get you guys' take and get that algorithm going on to grow this channel. So if he keeps it alive, great. But every day I've uploaded a video this week, starting with the Celtics struggles, with the Pistons success, and with the breaking news from yesterday. I posted Bagley, so that's 5 videos in 3 days. Today is the 4th. We're trying to provide videos every day, but I want a consistent route starting 2 weeks from now. When I come back, I want Monday, Wednesday, Friday videos, edited 5 p.m. At 5 p.m. you're going to get a quality video Monday, Wednesday, Friday from us. Is that doable? Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 5 p.m. That way you guys, oh man, it's 5 p.m. We're about to get a video. We've never done that. I know that's part of being successful on YouTube, that you have to have a prime time. People are getting off work at that time. And I would appreciate you guys if you guys can support it. 54 people watching. It should be 54 views like that, right? As soon as you guys get that notification, turn that little bell on and just watch, interact, join the conversation. Would really appreciate you guys. And then now send a statement that this stuff is unacceptable. Hit the subscribe button. Shout out to CK team, man. Appreciate you guys. Again, this is unacceptable, as Edward said, and I've been saying it all stream long. This is not okay, and there needs to be a call of action. Come on, Vlade. Come on, Vivek. Let's get this right. Let's do what's best for this organization. And you guys already know the answer to that. I'll see you guys later tonight.